Hayden Pass, the ridge and the road. This story ain't told by me, but by a miner long gone, one who swung his pick on these slopes more than a century ago. His voice still echoes through the pines, carried on the wind, telling of the pass, the people, and the price it took to cross these mountains. I reckon most folks today see Hayden Pass as just another trail cut across the mountains. But this ridge here, she's older than the memory of men. You can feel it when your tires bite into the rock, when the wind whistles through burnt timber and empty sky. Welcome to 0 Point Off-Road, where we don't just drive the trail, we drive through history itself. These peaks of the Sangre de Cristos, they've seen every kind of traveler. Hunters, herders, soldiers, settlers, dreamers, and the likes of me, a miner with calloused hands and foolish hope. The road ahead may be rough, but every stone's got a story, and every bend carries the ghosts of those who came before us. The ancient trail, the Ute era. Long before any white man hammered a stake or turned a wheel, the Ute people moved through this country like the wind. They crossed these ridges following elk and deer, moving from the San Luis Valley to the Arkansas Basin when the seasons turned. No maps, no fences, only instinct and respect. They read the sky for storms, the trees for water, and the mountains for safe passage. You can still find traces if you know where to look, a worked piece of chert, a faint line worn into the earth. When I first climbed this pass, an old Ute man told me, "The mountain remembers." I didn't know what he meant back then, but I do now. The mountain holds every footprint, ours, theirs, and the ones yet to come. The survey and the name. Then came the age of measuring and mapping. A fellow by the name of Ferdinand Vanderveer Hayden led the great geological surveys of the West. His crews carried notebooks, barometers, and dreams of discovery, turning wilderness into lines on a page. Some say the pass was named after him. Others claim it was for a settler, Lewis Hayden, who cut the first rough road through these ridges. Either way, by 1874 the name stuck, and the trail found its way onto government maps. Those were rough years. Mules slipping on shale, wagons grinding uphill, storms hitting without mercy. But men kept climbing because every ridge promised a new valley, and every valley whispered, "Ore." That's how I came to be here, chasing the glint of iron in the rock and the sound of opportunity echoing in the wind. The wagon road dream. The settlers had this notion they could tame the pass. In 1877, they tried to carve a wagon road from Villa Grove up to the summit. Switchbacks cut by hand, rock cleared with pick and powder. The winter snows filled their cuts. The spring melt washed it all away. They cursed, rebuilt, and kept on. Some wagons made it. Some didn't. There's a grave down near Cottonwood Creek. Just a pile of stones with a bent horseshoe on top. No name left. Just a reminder that the mountain don't care who you are. It'll test every bolt and every bone just the same. The ore in the Orient mine, boom and dust. But iron was the word of the day. Down on the west side stood the Orient mine, a mouth in a mountain that fed the steel mills in Pueblo. They found it around 1880, a vein of rich brown limonite stretching deep into the ridge. Before long, a town sprung up, Orient Camp. A few dozen cabins, a cookhouse, a blacksmith, and a saloon that never slept. The mine whistle blew at dawn, echoing clear across the valley. We'd marching with lamps and lunch tins, the air thick with dust and sweat. Mules dragged the ore carts to the narrow gauge line, and every evening, the mountain trembled as the train hauled the day's work east. 2 million tons, they say, pulled from these veins before the mine went quiet in 1932. I remember the day the last cart rolled out, the sound of steel on steel fading into nothing. The town emptied fast after that. Folks drifted down valley, chasing work or drink. Today, only the wind lives there. The shafts are sealed, the track's gone. But sometimes, if you stand still at dusk, you can hear the echo of boots and laughter carry through the timber. That's the mountain remembering. The range and its making. I used to study the rock when the drills were quiet. These Sangre de Cristos, they ain't young. Born from ancient uplift, shaped by fire and ice. You can see the story written in the layers, red sandstone, gray shale, streaks of quartz glittering like veins of frozen light. We miners dug into time itself, pulling history from beneath our feet. And every strike of the pick reminded me that this world's older than any dream of gold or iron. It was here long before us, and it'll be here long after. Fire and renewal, the 2016 Hayden Pass fire. But the mountain's temper don't just show in stone. In the summer of 2016, lightning split the sky over the ridge, and fire came down like judgment. They called it the Hayden Pass fire, burned near 16,000 acres. The smoke rolled across the valley like a storm at sea, to noon into night. Crews fought it for weeks. Engines, planes, boots, and buckets, but the mountain wasn't ready to yield. When it finally went quiet, the ridges were black and still, the trees standing like 1,000 burnt matchsticks. It broke my heart to see it. The same slopes I'd worked, the same forests I'd camped beneath, turned to ash. But that's the way of these hills. Fire clears, life returns. Now, if you look close, you'll see green again, young aspens and willows pushing through the char, small and defiant. The land's got a little stronger than any of us. Maybe that's why we love it. The trail today, off-roaders and respect. And now, it's you travelers, off-roaders with machines built for the climb, who take up where we left off. Engines rumbling, lights cutting through the dust, hearts beating fast on every narrow turn. The pass is still the same, steep, rocky, unpredictable. She don't give nothing easy, but every challenge you face out here, every scrape, every slip, every victory, that's the same spirit that drove the rest of us. You're miners of a different kind, digging for meaning, not metal. So treat her kind, leave no trace. Let the next traveler find her wild, not worn. Reflection and legacy, the mountain remembers. Funny thing about time, the more it passes, the smaller we seem. All the men I worked beside, gone now. But their stories live in these canyons, in every broken nail and rusted spike buried beneath the moss. When you drive this trail, you're riding through our footsteps. The same wind that cooled our backs now whistles past your windows. The same stars that guided the Ute still burn above you tonight. This pass, Hayden Pass, isn't just rock and dirt. It's a ledger of everyone who dared to cross it. And maybe that's why we keep coming back, to leave a line of our own in the story. Outro, 0 Point Off-Road and the living memory. So when you reach the summit and the world opens wide, take a moment, cut the engine, listen. You'll hear the mountain breathe, and maybe, if you're lucky, a whisper of the old days. Respect her. Tell her story. I've been telling mine since the day I left the mine camp below. And now, thanks to 0 Point Off-Road, it rides again, carried by wheels, wind, and memory. See you down the trail, friend. May the mountain remember your name. Enjoy the rest of the ride as we descend the west side of Hayden Pass, where the mountain shadow meets the setting sun.